Happy New Year, everybody, and to all the cadets in southwest London. I hope you had a great Christmas break and are all enthused about going back to school, going back to work, whatever you're doing, and that 2017 turns out to be a great year for you, especially your cadet life. I'd like to just look a little bit at 2016 before I tell you about what we've got in mind for this year, just to remind you of some of the great achievements that you've brought home for us. Let's start with the Elworthy Trophy. Cadets from 157 Detachment had a very convincing victory and brought back an award which traditionally belongs to the Air Training Corps. And that certainly set the bar very high for 13 Company, and the cadets there will be forming up a team to try and repeat the triumph this year. Last year we also sent a number of you to Hong Kong, and I hope those of you that went thought that was worthwhile. You might like to tell other people about it, because we've got a couple of overseas trips coming up. I'll talk about it in a minute, and that might just make one or two of you who may be a bit nervous about going abroad realise the great benefit of going and seeing another country and talking to people of your own age about what life's like there. We've had some other headlines too. There's 133 Detachment that won the Citizenship Award. That was a fantastic achievement, competing against detachments all over London, and they brought that home early on in the year in March. At camp we all went to France, and we had the chance to think about the great sacrifice involved in the war of 1914 to 1918 by looking at some of the battlefields and some of the cemeteries there. I hope you found that interesting and perhaps made you think a little bit. There'll be the opportunity to do more of that in 2017. Behind the scenes though, you've been achieving a great deal. More of you qualified for your next star last year than at any time since we started records for that 4 years ago. That's a great achievement. We're not lowering the standards, so if you've achieved another star, that means you really deserve it. And shooting too, the standards right across the sector have really climbed. At camp I had to give more of you marksmanship badges than we've ever done before, and it was embarrassing because one of you became a marksman on the LSW. We never had that before, so we didn't have the badge. I hope you've got it now. And finally, when you're not in uniform, you seem to be pretty remarkable. Last year we had more nominations from this county than anywhere else in the country for praiseworthy first aid. That's cadets who are doing more than you would expect them to do when they're out just leading their ordinary lives. There were a couple of you who stopped the traffic and took control of a road traffic accident on a busy road in South London, saving the life of a man who come off his motorcycle. There was another one of you who was called to a neighbour who was having a heart attack, and the report afterwards from the ambulance service said that that cadet had saved that man's life by keeping him resuscitated until the ambulance could get there. These are fantastic achievements, and you should be very proud of yourself, not just those involved, but all of you who wear the same uniform. So, looking forward in 2017, what's on the agenda? Well, the first thing you want to know about is camp. We're going down to Chickerell, which is in Dorset, so a bit of a long coach drive, perhaps 3 or 4 hours, but it's well worth it. It's a beautiful part of the world, and it's got the National Training Centre there for sailing, which means that we'll be able to teach you to sail boats and other water sports. There'll be rock climbing as well, and we'll be doing the expeditions that you need in order to qualify for the next star level. So there'll be a lot more adventurous training than usual. We'll have a week of that. And the other week we'll be out in the field, exercising out for 3, 4, 5 nights, depending on what your star level is. And again, developing those skills of self-reliance and self-discipline. And we've got a couple of overseas trips coming up. You might remember we went to St. Lucia in the West Indies 2 years ago. We're going to do that again. That was a fantastic trip, and boys and girls who came back from that really felt that it had been an education. One of them said it had changed their lives, but it certainly was a way of looking at another country in detail, because you'd be living with boys and girls of the same age, you'll be able to talk to them about all the things that go on and really get a feel for the place. The other trip overseas is a military one. We're taking a platoon to Cyprus, where they'll join the Resident Infantry Battalion for 2 weeks of training. So that should be pretty good and exciting. And the final thing to think about is music. We've got a music detachment now in each of the companies. There's a Music Saturday, which is held centrally. Any cadet can go to that. You have to get yourself there. We don't lay on the transport, but you'll be very welcome if you want to learn an instrument. What we're hoping to do is recruit more cadets into the music side, so that we can grow the strength of our corps of drums, who are now performing better and certainly looking very smart in their new uniforms. So there's a lot to go for in 2017. It's a pretty exciting year, lots of variety in it. There's something in there for everybody, and I look forward to seeing you around, working with you and having a lot of fun this year. Thank you.